Hello everybody, welcome to Series 2 of its GSX-R o'clock. So welcome to Series 2. If you've watched Series 1 and followed it all the way through, you'll see we've had to strip the GSX-R all the way down, which we didn't want to do because we needed to repair the frame. But that's all sorted now, so it's time to put it back together, get it running, and then get it MOT'd and on the road. So we're going to start off by putting the frame over the engine, getting some bolts on it, getting it in the yabber stand, and then we can start putting all the bits back on. So I'll get Bill to give me a hand, and it's going to make life much easier. Ready?
Yeah. Ready?
Mm-hmm. So I think we need to sort of like there. Yeah, try and bring twist yours around a bit if we can.
What way, mate?
Sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about over it first? Over that.
No, there we go,
No.
over the side.
Okay.
No.
How about?
Ta-da! That wasn't too bad. I'll leave it from the start to the finish of us putting that on. I'm really happy with how that went. So I need to put the bolts in the frame, front and the back, and the middle, and then we can put it on the yabber stand, and then we can tighten everything up, and then we can put the rest of the bike back together. So thanks for your help, Bill.
No problem.
Now, as you might notice, it's not actually me rebuilding the bike. As you see in this video, I was still recovering from a hernia operation, but Bill's been a bit bored and asked me if he could do some work on the slabby, so I said as long as he films him putting it back together, I don't mind. So listen to the music, watch Bill put the GSX-R back together to how it was before we got the frame welded. So as you can see, Bill's done an excellent job of putting the GSX-R back together. There's only two things we need to do to get it back to how it was before we had the frame welded up, and that's put the oil filter on and put the exhaust on. Now, I believe I've mentioned this in the past, but the exhaust isn't great. I'll show you a clip now. The mild steel exhaust stub has rusted and expanded, and it's made the stainless steel of the exhaust expand, and it's actually split the stainless steel, which isn't great, but they are all still fitting together. At some point in the future I do want to get another exhaust system, but I'm not sure what to go for yet or how to go about fixing it. So for now, just to get the bike back together and back on the road, we're going to see if this Micron will last. So let's crack on and get those last two bits done. Now before we put the exhaust on, we're going to put our new high flow oil filter on, a HF134 that Mad for Bike supplied for us. I've actually used high flow filters for probably 15 years and I've never had a problem with them. One of the good things about them is they are TUV approved, which is like an E mark but more stringent from Germany. So if it's got TUV approved, it must be pretty good. So I've used these for years and they're like half the price of genuine filters. So let's put it on. Right, so I'm going to use a tiny drop of engine oil just to cover the seal. So I'm going to put a tiny drop of engine oil just around the rubber seal. I know you don't always have to do it, but you know, some of them come coated with a little bit of oil or whatever, but force of habit, I've done it for years. And there we go. So let's screw the oil filter on, shall we? So that is pretty hand tight. I'm not going to do it up any tighter than that because people do them up way too tight, and as you might have seen, I struggle to get it undone. So there we go, oil filter done. Time to move on to the exhaust. Now we're almost ready to put the exhaust on. I just need to remove the old exhaust gaskets. I've got my little picky tool. Hopefully I can get these out. Yeah, that was quite easy. I bet that's been in there 15 years, probably longer. Time for some new ones. Right. This one doesn't want to come out. Okay, that one's fighting me a little bit, so I'm going to use a screwdriver to try and get it out. Right, I'll give a screwdriver a try. No. So I'm going to need a hammer just to try and knock it out, but I need to be quite careful. Right, so it's hammer time. Let's see what happens. Almost there. There we go. Had to make a bit of a mess of it, but it's out now. So back to the pick tool for the next one. See if I can get that one out. There we go. And then the last one. It's come out nice and easy as well. So now before I put the new gaskets in, I'm just going to check the seats, make sure they're flush, make sure there's no crap around them, just so the new gaskets seat up good. So I've got my new gaskets. I popped down my local bike shop to pick these up because they've got loads on the shelf in all different sizes down at Bike Strikes and stuff. Now the old ones are a little bit tight, these ones are a tiny bit loose, so what I might have to do is put a dab of grease on them just to hold them in while I put the exhaust on. Now you might be wondering why we put the exhaust system on with just one of the downpipes, and we've put it on really loose. We tried putting all 4 pipes in, putting it up, nothing seemed to line up, we couldn't work it out. All these pipes are all different angles, and it's been an absolute nightmare. It's a hell of a jigsaw puzzle, but like with all good jigsaw puzzles, we've worked out how to do it. So we've put the number 1 cylinder on. I now need to put this number 4 cylinder on. And I also need to try and get it in at the bottom. So we'll try and get it in there first. There we go. And then that should be in there now. Now I put 2 bolts in just to hold it in place. There it is. So I need to move on to the 3rd cylinder, which goes there, so I need to put the gasket back in. So I need to try and get that half lined up. Get that in there, and then try. There we go. That one's in there. Now we need to put number 2 on, which it was a bit awkward last time. So this one was a bit awkward and didn't really want to fit, but we'll get there. So there we go. I just need to jiggle that one a little bit more, put the bolts in, and it's good to go. Now, originally when this system was brand new, what you should have done is bolted the stubs up and then put the pipe onto the stub and the collector, but because they're all rusty and horrible, they're just stuck to the stainless steel because of the rust, so we can't actually take them off. But that took me and Bill probably an hour and a half to work out how that went together. It was an absolute nightmare. I even started looking at getting a new system. I was getting that frustrated with it, but we persevered in the end and we got there. So I just need to bolt these up tight, put the springs on, bolt up the rear, and the exhaust is done. So we've got the slabby back to how it was before we had the frame welded. I'm really happy it's progressing. I feel like it's not going to be long until we do the MOT. We've got a few more jobs to do. We've got to finish the brakes off, get the new braided lines from CP Race Tech on. Found a bit of an issue with the wiring. All the wiring works, it's always worked, but it just looks a bit messy and untidy and leaves room for things to go wrong in the future. So we want to sort that while we've got the bike in bits. We've also got to tackle the carbs. I've been putting it off a little bit because I'm not looking forward to it. I haven't had a lot of experience with flat side carbs, so we're going to be learning together on that one. And then we're going to take it for its MOT, and I'm going to take it to a local bike shop, bikes, trikes and stuff, and we're going to discuss about MOTs and things you can fail on and bits and bobs like that. It should be quite an interesting video. So thanks again guys for watching series 2 of its GSX-R o'clock. We really do appreciate your comments. We love reading through them and we always reply to them if we can. And if you could give the video a thumbs up, and if you fancy subscribing so you don't miss any of our videos, don't forget to hit the bell icon and then you'll get notified every time we do an upload, which is normally Sunday nights at 9 PM. So until next time, we'll see you later.